Hi guys, James at Rampant Lion Reviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to head over to Mexico for the first time in quite a wee while actually. We don't get many Mexican beers over here in the EU, so I'm really excited to review this one for you today. So we're going to go to Tijuana in Baja, California in northwestern Mexico, and we're doing my first beer review from Cerveceria Insurgente today. This one is the Lupulosa. It's an IPA and it comes in at 7.3%, and it's actually very highly rated. It got a 95 overall on rate beer and a 96 within the style, so that tells you it should be a pretty damn good beer. And this beer, from what the guys at Kiosk in Copenhagen told me, where of course I bought this beer, they actually told me that these beers are being imported into Denmark by a Mexican woman who's married to a Danish guy, so hopefully this is the start of some of the Mexican craft beers finding their way into Europe, and hopefully I can review some more of those for you on the channel over the next wee while. It's always cool to try new beers from different places of course, and I've heard that this brewery are pretty damn good, so I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you guys enjoyed the review as well. But anyway, as is usual with my beer reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery. If you want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery website, the link to my future reviews that hopefully I can do from Cerveceria Insurgente. This is the very first time I'm trying one of their beers, of course. There's all the usual social media. If you want to see more beer reviews, do subscribe to the channel. The whole channel, of course, has a geography-based tagging system, so you can go into the homepage and search for beer based on country, city or state, whatever it is you're interested in. Do check out the playlist of beers from different countries. I will make one for all the Mexican beers that I've reviewed for you, but that's a very short list, and hopefully I can add to that over the next little while. And as always, please do get in touch and let me know some of the other beers and breweries that you guys would like to see me review, especially if you're watching in Mexico, because I don't know very much about Mexican craft beer, although I do hear you guys have quite a burgeoning beer scene, so do let me know a little bit more about it. But it's always great to hear from you guys, and the support that you give the channel is hugely appreciated. So anyway, to tell you a little bit about Cerveceria Insurgente then. So as I told you, this company is based in Tijuana in Baja, California, in the northwestern part of Mexico, and they were actually founded by two brothers, Ivan and David Morales, and they first started brewing beer together on the balcony of their mother's apartment, and they'd actually lived in San Diego for a number of years in the early 2000s, and this was where they really got their appreciation of craft beer and decided that they wanted to start brewing for themselves. But the brothers established their brewery officially in 2010 with a modified home brewing setup, but they have since actually moved into a new facility which has a 15-barrel brew kit adjacent to this original apartment building where they started brewing. They actually have a tasting room as well at the Plaza Fiesta in the city, and they're actually working now on the new building to create a garden, a patio garden and a restaurant, and also to expand their brewery setup as well. So quite exciting time for these guys, but today they're actually widely regarded as one of Baja, California's most decorated breweries, and I think they're meant to be one of the best craft breweries in Mexico these days as well. So as I always say, it's really cool to see craft breweries popping up in different countries, and hopefully this is the start of some of the Mexican craft beers finding their way over to Europe, and we can try some of them for you here on the channel. So yeah, definitely looking forward to this one, and like I say, I hope you guys enjoy the review. Just to list a few of the other beers you can get from these guys, when I went on the website they did only have 3 beers listed in bottles. So this was the Tineblia, the Brown, and of course this guy here, the Lupulosa, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. That's a really thing I kind of find very difficult with Spanish actually, it's just to get some of the very quick things. So La Lupulosa, of course, and they do seem to have some other special beers and seasonals and things like that. There were some other bottles there, of course, on the Facebook page as well. So do make sure you follow them on Facebook and all of this sort of thing. But let's actually get on to the tasting of this beer itself. So I can't really tell you too much about this one. It doesn't really say exactly what hops and things are actually included in this one. It does tell you a little bit in Spanish on the side there, but Spanish of course is a language that I have never studied. That's something I do need to nip in the bud. I know the pronunciations, but I don't really know very much about the language itself, so I'll need to fix that in the near future. But I'll just let you have a little look at the artwork on this one with the camera before we open up. There you can see it's actually a really nice kind of watercolour painting on this one. I do like the artwork that they've put on this, it's very nice. And there you can see there's a sort of paint mark as the brewery symbol there up on the top of the bottle cap. So yeah, really nicely presented this one. There you can see, I think that's actually meant to be the owl. Sorry, I've kind of told you a lie there, it is meant to be an owl, but it looks very nice, very nicely presented beer, this one, and like I say, hopefully this is the start of the Mexican craft beers finding their way over to Europe. But without further ado then, let's get this guy out and into the glass and we'll see how we get on. So yeah, nice smoky opening on this one. You can smell some of the nice tropical fruits on this as you open it up. Like I said, 7.3% IPA this one from Tijuana in Mexico. So yeah, Looks very, very nice. The guys in kiosk said this was a really damn good beer, and like I said to you, it was rated 95 overall on Rate Beer when I checked it out, so definitely looking forward to this one. But as you can see, it's poured a really nice, quite rich orange amber colour, this one. It's almost the same colour as like blood orange, I would say. There's a solid finger of a frothy white head on this one, and I can smell these lovely fruits and a bit of the malty character just coming off the top there, but we'll look at that more closely in a minute. If I put my fingers behind the glass, you can see there is a degree of transparency to this beer, but it is almost completely opaque. There's some big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass and quite a few little ones just going up towards the bottom of that head there, but overall it looks very, very nice, and I'm definitely looking forward to trying this one. So yeah, let's take a closer look at the aroma then before we get stuck in. Oh, that smells really nice. It actually comes across as quite malty, to be honest with you. So there's some nice sort of boozy, slightly boozy caramel malt in this one. You can smell some of the nice sort of biscuity, almost digestive, biscuity, grainy character. There's a little bit of breadiness in there as well, but it does smell really nice. The hoppy characters in this one are very nice too. You can smell a little bit of a sort of peppery, sort of floral character in there, but really it's a lot of fruit. I'm getting quite a bit of an orangey character out of this one. It does make me think that there's some Amarillo hop being used in here. It's got a little bit of a sort of tropical note as well. But for me, really, the aroma is kind of leaning more towards the oranges. It's a big orangey citrus aroma that this one has. It's very nice, and it does lean more towards the malty side of things. I love IPAs that have those kind of orangey flavours and the sort of caramelly, kind of biscuity malt base. There maybe is a little bit of tropical fruit in there. You can smell, when you go a bit further away from it, you can smell some of these lighter things, like a little bit of lychee or apricots, sort of gooseberries. You're getting these lighter notes that you would associate with the citra hop. The citra hop, of course, tends to have mango in the oils, but then in the lighter parts of the aroma, I always find it tends to give you like apricots and lychees and gooseberries and things like that. But overall, this does smell like a really nice beer. So just make sure you check out the aroma before you try it, because it is pretty damn nice. But let's get stuck into this one then. So this one is the Lupulosa, an IPA at 7.3% from Cerveceria Insurgente in Tijuana in Baja, California. I'm struggling with the Spanish pronunciation, but let's get stuck into this one. Cheers. That's nice. That's a really quite nice beer, that. It's interesting, it does kind of start off. It does have a good bit of malty character. And as I've said in many of my reviews on the channel before, I love it with beers when you have a good balance between the malt and the hoppy character. And this one certainly does have that. I'm noticing in the aftertaste, it's actually got quite a peppery sort of floral character to it, this one. It's really quite nicely done, this. I like the way it comes across. That's nice. It's a really good quality beer, and it's always cool, like I say, when you try beers from different countries and they're producing something that's this kind of quality. You know, it's a very, very good thing. And hopefully, as I say, on the basis of this one, I do hope that I can try some other Mexican craft beers. The only other ones I've had, I think, were the Day of the Dead beers, actually. So this is the first kind of small kind of brewed craft beer that I've actually had from Mexico, and hopefully I can get more. But this beer is really quite nice. So in the middle of your palate, you can feel the nice sort of slightly bready malt base there. There's a good bit of kind of grainy character. I'm getting a good bit of a kind of toasted graininess in there, and you can feel some of the caramel sweetness right in the middle of your palate there as well. Yeah, that's really nice. I love how this beer comes across. It's got a great balance between the kind of fruity side of things and the malt. But yeah, as I say, malt base, bready base, little bit of biscuity, slightly toasted graininess on top of that, and some sweet caramel. As you go onto the back corners of the palate, there's a nice slight earthiness to it as well. As you come further forward, you can feel the floral character coming out of this beer. And like I was saying, it's actually got a little bit of a peppery, kind of spicy note going on. It's very distinctively floral, this one. There's not pine raisins in this one for me. It's a slightly peppery kind of floral aromaticity that you're getting out of this beer, and it's done very, very nicely. But yeah, that's a really nice beer, that one. So around the front curve of the palate, it gets a little bit lighter and a little bit more grassy, and then if you just go behind the very front curve of the edge of your tongue there, that's where you get this little oily bubble where all these lovely fruity esters come out of the beer. So with this one, It's interesting. It's hard to kind of place what the fruits are. Yeah, there's quite a strong citrusy element to this one. There's a good bit of orangey character in there. There's not grapefruits in this one. It doesn't have that kind of distinctive sour grapefruit character in there. It's got quite a bit. When you start to move into the aftertaste, you can get a little bit of these lighter, kind of more tropical fruit notes. I do think there's a good bit of passion fruit in there. It has quite an oily, sort of tropical fruit character to this one. I think it's quite a bit of passion fruit that is coming out of this one. And as you move further into the aftertaste, there's a little bit of a sort of apricot-y character coming off this one, which is quite interesting. But for me, the fruity character is dominated. There's a little bit of a sort of very sharp kind of blood orange flavour coming out of this one. It does make me think there's a bit of Amarillo in there, right enough. And I would think with some of the spicy character, I'm not quite sure, maybe it could be Galena or Nugget or something like that, but it's got a very distinctive spicy floral character in there, but there's some nice passion fruity notes as well, and quite a sharp, not quite lemony citrus, but there's a good citrusy presence. But I really think the fruits are more passion fruit and orange, kind of blood orange in this one. But this is a really quite nice beer, so if you get the chance to try it, definitely have a go at it. As you move into the aftertaste, the things you're going to notice lingering, it's got a nice sort of, the toasted bready graininess to the beer is lingering there, the sort of peppery floral aromaticity to this one, and the kind of orangey passion fruit thing coming out of the beer as well is really quite nice. Those are the key elements that are lingering into the aftertaste. It's very well crafted, this beer, so if you get the chance to try it, I highly recommend it. So in terms of the mouthfeel of this one, I'd say this beer is actually, it's quite mid-bodied. And of course, one of the things you do expect from Mexico when it's a very hot country is you expect a little bit of crispness to it, and the beer does have that. The sort of peppery spice that the floral aromaticity has matches well with the carbonation. The carbonation is kind of moderate in this one. It's got a nice smooth character to it as well. It's got a little bit of oily mouthfeel to it. It's very interesting just kind of how it goes together. But yeah, it's got a smoothness to it, it's got a nice oily mouthfeel, but at the same time the carbonation and that hoppy character does give it a little bit of crispness. There's a good hoppy bitterness in there, like I was saying, a little bit of sweetness from the malt base, but overall it's kind of toasty and grainy. There's a little bit of dryness there, and there is some kind of juicy, fruity character as well, but it's got that dark kind of, it's got quite a dark sort of passion fruity note to it as well, which is quite nice. There's maybe a little bit of papaya and stuff in there as well, but the lighter tropical fruit notes start to come out as you progress more into the aftertaste. But overall, it's a really, really nice beer, and I'm very glad that I got to try this one. So if you guys come across this beer, I highly recommend that you do, and it's very cool to find out that Mexico is able to produce craft beers like this. So long may it continue, and hopefully I can review more of them for you here on the channel. So yeah, this was the Lupulosa, a lovely IPA from Cerveceria Insurgente in Tijuana in Baja, California, Mexico. A really, really good beer, and like I say, hopefully I can review more Mexican beers for you in the coming years or whatever. So yeah, really cool to review this one. I hope you've enjoyed the review. Thank you for watching. Of course, until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Always great to hear from you guys. Like I said, make sure you check out the usual social media. Let me know your own thoughts on this beer in the comment section below, and please do give me some more Mexican beer recommendations, and hopefully I can find some more of them for you here over in Europe. It'd be great to review more. So thank you again for watching, and I will catch you guys very soon. Make sure you try the Lupulosa from Cerveceria Insurgente in Tijuana, Mexico. Slange just now. Cheers.